sure when I edit this together, my voice is gonna sound beautiful. And editing Rhymestyle, if you don't make me sound good, then you're fired. Well, I can't fire myself because then I can't upload it, and I would upload even less on the channel. I'm excited because this BGS return has a bunch of stuff that I sent in, and by bunch I mean I think there's only like 11 or 12 submissions. It's half reviews and half stuff that I got in Japan. So let's get right into it because I feel like y'all want me to stop talking and get right into business. By the way, I do want to point out Crown Zenith is coming out very, very soon. Once that sets out, I'm going to go pretty crazy on it and probably open a lot. So just a heads up now. I don't want this to spoil for me, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is we'll sacrifice our Charizard. Kind of like hide the grades up here because we don't want we won't be surprised with what we see, okay? Well, we know it's a silver label now because this is one thing that kind of sucks as far as doing reveals for grades with BGS is because you know what grade you got, and this is not good. There's no point even hiding it. But oh, I was hoping this would be a bit higher, but I will admit when I got back from Japan and I kind of like looked at the card, it wasn't the best condition. This is actually a gift I got for one of our friends. Ooh, and it's an 8.5. 8.5. You know what's funny? I actually bought it again in the back because I had a feeling that this was going to be low grade. So I'm actually going to send him this one. I will send him this one that I bought because I didn't want him to get a lower grade just because I literally hunted this down in Japan while I was there. So yeah, so Ty, you're going to get this one instead of that one. Although I feel like you really wouldn't care. But yeah. So what I noticed when I got back is I think it had surface issues. Although I feel like the corners would have been a 9.5 and everything else would have been potentially a 10. But it is what it is. We got, ooh, this is the Dungeon Dice Dark Magician Girl. It's something else that I kind of like hunted down in Japan. And I'll explain. The question is it an 8.5 or is it a 9? It's a 9, which is better. So unfortunately, I knew that this grade would be roughly a 9, if not lower. So actually, you remember, I can kind of zoom in on this card. You see that? You see that little dent right there? There is a bunch of that on this card. So unfortunately for Dungeon Dice, they always had issues on the edges. This one was great. It had no edge issues. It was pretty well centered, although they say it's a 9.5, but I disagree. Once I got this card and came back to the States, I realized it had those dots. I'm like, come on, man. See, this card is so difficult to buy on eBay because it's very easy to post a picture of this. And if it's not super high def, you're going to miss the service issues. And usually you end up missing the edgeware issues, which is really well hidden online, which a lot of sellers unfortunately do. But even then, if I would have bought this after seeing how good the edges and corners and centering was, I would have still missed those dots. It is what it is. I have Dark Magician will cover up the next one. So this is a Weiss Schwarz card. The thing that's beautiful about Weiss Schwarz is, we got my Mewtwo over here, I see it. Weiss Schwarz cards are always fantastic condition. Unless you get blatant issues, like for example with this Mai that I showed up last time. I missed this when I originally bought it. You see those little dots on the back? That's damage on the card. As long as you don't have any visible damage, it's always a 10. And the art on these cards is always chef's kiss, beautiful. So we got, that's what we like to see. So either it's a 9.5 or it's a 10, but it's likely going to be a 10 because again, the card conditions are always great. Ayu! This is actually my girlfriend's. This is the one card that she wanted in Japan. Because I remember when I say I went to a bunch of stores for cards, I mean I went from store to store to store to another city. I literally went to Osaka and I went to Dendentown, and in Dendentown I seeked out every single card shop possible to find, you know, for starters, to find that Dark Magician Girl, and then this one as well. But in the midst of us doing that, we saw this, and she was like, I need this. And I was like, let's get it, let's pick it up, and hopefully it's a good grade. And look, we was right. It is a 10. We got Mewtwo. So funny story. Funny story about this. It's not going to be a high grade, is what I was about to say. I'm actually confused about this because, I mean, I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm hyped. I'm just flabbergasted, to be honest. Because this card is a funny story, which I guess makes the grade that much more special. When I went from shop to shop, they always had V-Star Universe. Like right when you walk in, almost every single place had V-Star Universe Pokemon cards, like front and center in front of your face. And every single time I walked in, I saw this Mewtwo, and I kept thinking to myself, all right, I might as well just buy it. But Crown Zenith, I know, is coming out around the corner when I get back home. I might as well wait for the English. But at some point, I was like, you know what? I want a souvenir for myself on top of what I was else looking for. I'm gonna finally do it. And then I went from shop to shop to shop, and I told myself, the first Mewtwo that I see that's like 40,000 yen, I'm buying it, which roughly is, with the conversion, is about 30 bucks. And I mean, I literally picked up maybe like 5 of these over the course of like the next 3 hours when I was like shopping that first day. And I decided on this one ultimately in the end. And like I said, the only reason I bought it is it was partially an impulse. And then I tucked it away in my Yu-Gi-Oh deck box because that's all I had, and I didn't want the card to be damaged. I told myself, this is likely going to be a 9.5 or something because I didn't review it. I didn't really look at it. I literally just walked in, bought it, and then went home. Or went back to the hotel. The fact that that was a black label is crazy. I feel like the universe literally gave me this. That's dope. Like, I didn't even care what grade it would get. I told myself this is like one of those things that's just going to be a souvenir to represent my time in Japan. And that's dope. That's crazy. Tune in about 10 days when we hunt for this in Crown Zenith because I absolutely love this art. You guys already know this is the inverse of the Charizard Mewtwo card that came out a couple of months ago. And this is from Mewtwo's perspective. I feel like I'm going to end this video and sit down and be like, did I really just get another black label? That's so dope. But again, Japanese cards, the quality is just untouchable. And I mean, this centering is great. Honestly, it's really going to come down to the centering. And BGS probably was like, yeah, there's nothing we can contest here. This card is flawless. Congrats, Rhyme. Thank you, BGS. That's dope. Next card is Weiss Schwarz. We got a gold label again. I mean, at this point, there's no point in covering this up just because it's always going to be a high grade just because Weiss Schwarz cards are fantastic. This should be the Gargura, I think. Oh, no, it's not. This is actually the Kobayashi that this is the first signed card that we pulled back in July of last year. To kind of explain, these signed card SPs are the highest rarity that they have for Weiss Schwarz. They're like one in case sometimes more rarer. And I remember we bought a handful of boxes and we ended up pulling this. Again, Weiss Schwarz cards are fantastic quality, so this being a 10 is just not a surprise. Next card I am very excited about. I'm hoping that we have something higher than last time because this should be this. Ooh, we see a gold label again. This should be this card. So first things first. Oh, I already see gold. That's a win. That's great. Question is what kind of gold are we talking about? Are we talking about a 10? Are we talking about 9.5? Honestly, I told myself if this even gets a 9.5, I'll be excited. The last time, this is the very first Dark Magician Scroll that I bought when the set first came out. Magnificent Maimons. And this is like super hard to pull. On top of that, they had like 20 different Pharaoh rares is what they were called. I love the hollow pattern to have on this card. I bought this from my editor. I remember he pulled it, he messaged me, I'm like, I'll buy it. I'll take it right now. That's a 9.5, but it's fine because I'm happy with it. Because as I mentioned before, 9.5s for Yu-Gi-Oh cards are essentially 10s. It's so hard to get a 10 on a Yu-Gi-Oh card. And if you see a 9.5, you already won. Which is, again, why it was so significant when last time I pulled a black label Dark Magician Girl, if you guys remember from this set. I have a 9 sitting here as well for this card. I told myself, if this for some reason happens to be a 9.5, I'm basically done pursuing this card. I could technically send it into PSA and get a 10, but I really don't care. I like the BGS Labs way better. All right, so this should be the Gargura, which is going to be a 10. It's a card for my girlfriend. Yeah, it's not the stamped version. This is the one. This is one that we pulled a couple of months ago now, and I only got a grade just for her. I know you can get a stamped version, which is a bit rare, but it's like she doesn't care. She just wants this card slabbed up, and I'm like, sure, let's just do it. Okay, these should be reviews now, right? Yeah, as you can see, we got denied 4 times. Oh boy, this is going to be a fun little discussion here. We got front and centering. This is oh, the ice. I actually bought this for fairly cheap. I think it was like 200 bucks on eBay. The only reason why I really bought it, I have the Hestia and I have the Bell, and we pulled those and they came back 10s. Only reason why I bought this is because I saw it ending. I saw that it was like very low. Nobody really bid on it. It was 0.5 away. So I bought this with the whole point of sending it to get reviewed to see if that 0.5 can be bumped up. Because I feel like when you're 0.5 away from 10, it hurts. It's like, damn, we were so close. Again, if you get a card that's slabbed up, you want to get reviewed, it tell you why it was denied. So I guess there is a bump in the top right, which I likely will not be able to see. Yeah, I do not see, so I have no idea what that means. It's mentioned, it says it's in the front, as you can see. It's a front. And then the arrow means it's centered heavily way towards the right. Unfortunately, I don't have another ice card to compare it to, but it's debatable. I feel like this could have been a 10. This could have been a 10. But on a better day, I feel like someone else would just have been like, yeah, let's bump it up. All right, next one. Another card that's denied. If it gets approved, basically what happens is they end up regrading it, and it shows up like that. If it's denied, you get one of these sheets that say why you got denied. Oh no! I think this got regraded. One reason why I know is because I graded this a long time ago. It did get regraded. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. Yeah, they fixed the typo. When I originally got this graded a long time ago, it's been like a year, maybe 2 years, if not longer, they misspelled dungeon on the card. So that's funny that they re-encapsulated it for that. But I guess it wasn't good enough to grade. See, again, the thing about this card is usually the main issue these always had is the edges were awful. And this is actually one of the first ones that I ended up buying back when I first discovered this card. They graded a 9.5. As you can see, centering was a 9.5, corners a 9.5, surface was a 9. And looks like on the back there is like a little thing back here. I do see that they left some dust inside my card, which is great, fantastic. That is dust or a little particle, whatever you want to call that. There's a bunch actually, it's 3. So it's really great to know that they actually re-encapsulated it so I can fix the typo, but now I have this to look at. Awesome. And then they denied it because of centering, which they say is top to bottom. It's hard to like compare this because the thing about cards like this that don't really have a border, you can't really compare it. It's like, as you can see, you see like a tip of the hat right there and tip of the hat right there. This is the same centering, like to a T. How do they compare this? What I want to know is how do they compare centering for cards like this? Because obviously if you have like one of these, you can literally see the borders when it's like, you know, cut off or whatever. It's way towards one side than the other. So that's interesting. Again, I didn't expect this one to get bumped up to a 10. Again, 9.5 for Yu-Gi-Oh cards is good. I was just hoping to see if it was maybe worthy of hitting a 10 because it really comes down to surface. And I guess what's funny is the only reason why I got a 9 surface instead of a 9.5 is because of whatever this is. And whatever that is, I don't know because I literally do not see anything. This is shining into a light. I do not see anything. Journey continues. I think this is a pop 1 for a BGS 10. But one of these days, I'm going to find a flawless prismatic version of this card and then try to get that BGS 10 for that as well. All right. Oh, no. I know what this is. This would be my Lugia. Oh, the centering. They did not want to give it a 10. What's funny is, so I pulled this, you know, it's on the channel. I went to Target. I bought a couple of those Silver Tempest boxes that come with 6 packs and pulled this. And in that opening, first of all, I didn't expect the Lugia to even appear. When that popped up, I noticed that the Lugia looked great. So instead of sending the PSA and get that easy PSA 10, I decided to gamble to see if BGS would give it at least a 9.5. Turns out it was a 10 quality. The surface is a 10, corner is a 10, edge is a 10. Centering is the only thing that held it back. But honestly, it says it's centered from right to left, but it's honestly not that really noticeable. I feel like if I was to like take a picture of both of these and overlay them, it would be like 45-55, which I feel like it could have been a black label. Because you have some leeway at the end of the day. Last card, I already know what this is. This is the lowest BGS card I have graded, but I didn't think this was going to get upgraded. The only reason why I sent this in is because I figured I want to see what happens. This will be my Blue Eyes that I bought the first time I went to Japan in 2019. I was there literally for like 2 days, and I spent an entire day just looking for this card. I wanted it in person, and I wanted to see if I could find a perfect one. And I thought I did. For the most part, I did. As you can see, corners and edges were great. Centering, they gave it a 9, which I kind of disagree with. I feel like the centering is great, but I also feel like if they gave it a centering a 9.5 or higher, then it would be grounds to give this card an 8.5, which is why I want to get this card graded or re-reviewed. But back, oh, you know what? Ooh. I did not realize that. I was about to say, I know what's wrong with this card. and they did not even catch it. So unfortunately, with Ultimate Rares, when the texture is stamped on the card, it sometimes will bleed through the back. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but yeah, right there. You see that? That line right there? That's the center of the picture. I thought the main reason why I got a 7 for surface was because of that. Turns out, you see these 3 lines right there? This card has dents on the back, right there. Boom, boom, and like boom. And now that I'm looking at this, I actually remember this because originally when I graded this, I sent this to PSA and PSA gave it like a 6. And I thought it was because of the line in the back. So I cracked it out and I sent it to BGS because I figured, all right, if it's going to be a 6, let me get in a BGS slab. And BGS actually upgraded to an 8. But I feel like the reason why PSA gave it a 6 originally was because of that stamp from the Ultimate Rare texture. And then I didn't realize until later that it had these little dents back here as well. This card is kind of beat up. It's sad because normally these cards, it's so hard to find even a 7 quality. You'll see damages around the edges and chipping and stuff like that. But this is by far the best looking one I found in person when I was there. So I figured it could be at least a 9, but whatever. I only want to see if I can get this upgraded to a 8.5, but it's mostly because I forgot about these little dents in the back. It is what it is. I'm excited because, again, the big surprise today was this. Never expected that. You never know what you have laying around the house. Not that this was laying around the house. I actually bought this in Japan after going to like 100 different stores. But it's definitely a win for me, in my opinion. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna end the video right here. Stay tuned for Crown Zenith coming out in less than 2 weeks. We'll be doing some openings on that. And yes, I'm actually going to upload card openings again for that when that comes out. And we'll see how that goes in the near future. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the comment section below. Peace.